Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this.
Hello everyone, my name is Angela Briante. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Angela. I have a guest today. His name is Michael Aharoni. He is with VETSEDU. VETSEDU is a 501c3, which is a not-for-profit military real estate educational organization. So welcome, Michael. Thank you very much for joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I guess the first question I had is, besides you speaking in detail about your organization, is I noticed your socks.
Yes.
And I thought
I had to make sure that you knew about my socks.
That's great. I love it.
Right? Have to represent.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought the 5 branches here in the flag. So thank you. It's an honor. And I love what you're doing for the military. So I'd love for you to speak about your organization and how you got started and just educate us a little bit about VETSEDU would be wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give you a little background history of myself. I've been in real estate for about 10 years now, right out of college, and been in insurance, done some networking stuff and everything, and wanted to really find a passion. And my grandfather was U.S. Army. He passed away, I'd probably say about 4.5 years ago now. Had the whole military funeral, and at that time, something just clicked. And I wanted to do something in his honor, and I wanted to give back to our military, And after a lot of market research, out of a lot of outreach, and doing a lot of research on finding out exactly what that path may take, I flew down to Puerto Rico on August 27th, 2017, right before Maria hit. So thankfully, perfect timing.
Yep.
But I flew down and I met with the first Puerto Rican woman to ever be a general in the armed forces by the name of Marta Carcana.
Okay.
She ran the Puerto Rican National Guard. Basically, I pitched her the idea of VETSEDU.
Okay.
Told her what I wanted to do and to give back to my grandfather as well as to help our military.
Okay.
Long story short, she fell in love with it, retired, became my partner. Fast forward a few months. After that, we became the largest not-for-profit military real estate organization in the nation doing what we do.
Wonderful. And what exactly do you do? So take it from, I guess, I understand you do seminars and workshops, and it's all educational oriented, but what exactly would you do for a military right now?
So as you know, there's a lot of dime a dozen real not-for-profit organizations out there that work with the military.
Okay.
And a lot of these not-for-profit organizations deal with the disabled or the PTSD or helping those military and active military with families and children, and they all do a great job.
Sure.
I wanted to find a niche where there was really nothing out there that existed. And after a lot of doing the research that I've done and a lot of outreach, I found that there are a lot of predatory lenders and realtors out there that don't really understand the VA loan, that don't really understand how the veteran can use that to their benefit, and not really teaching the veteran how to use it to their benefit.
Okay.
And I found out that a lot of banks out there have either been sued or have lost their VA bond due to the fact of overcharging our veterans. Within the VA loan, there's a certain amount of percentage that a veteran can be charged, right? And to not get into so much detail, these banks that have been out there have been charging above that threshold. And on top of that, as you may have heard as well, just recently is a huge story that the VA owes millions of dollars to disabled veterans with their VA funding fee. One of the things with the VA loan is if you are a disabled veteran, your funding fee is exempt. But the veterans don't have the education to understand that. And what's happening is a lot of these lenders are out there charging the funding fee when they should not be charging the funding fee. Yeah. So all this money is out there owed to these veterans. That's why the VETSEDU organization was born. And that's why we do span a great piece of our nation, because of the fact that our veterans and active military families need to be educated on how to achieve the American dream of home ownership.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Who, I know you'd mentioned, prior to us going on the air, that you have a board.
Yes.
So who is on the board for VETSEDU?
Yeah, I've been very blessed with putting a board together. Of course, I wanted all veterans, either spouses of veterans or active military, or some form of a link to our armed forces. As mentioned before, General Carcana is on my board, as well as my director of education by the name of David Nedlin. He has been working with the military for 25 plus years locally, where we're headquartered in the Long Island region. After that, I also have Command Sergeant Major Philip Stringfield from Georgia. He was one of the longest running Sergeant Majors of that state of Georgia for the National Guard as well. On top of that, I have the former, now retired, Brigadier General Jose Burgos, who ran the 99th Readiness Division up here in the East Coast area.
Okay.
In addition to that, I also have some top Marines, first sergeants in the Army. I have active military, both Guard and Reserve. I have a few military spouses. So the crux of the board is really focused on those that have either gone through the VA loan themselves, have a passion for helping other veterans, and of course have the name and the ranking behind them in order to move us in the right direction.
Sure. I know when we initially spoke on the phone, I had had to vet obviously the guests on the program, and you were explaining to me not only your background but your organization, which I really was fascinated by. I think it's a great organization. But you had also sent me some letters of recommendation. I believe there was it the Pentagon, or there was a bunch of information. So if you want to speak to that a little bit, because I'm not really sure the exact questions to ask you, but I was impressed. I mean, that really made give me a comfort level.
Thank you. Okay. Being a non-veteran myself, someone that has not served in the armed forces, I needed to make sure, outside of who my board was, that I've built the credibility, that I've built the recommendations, the testimonials, the letters, the vetting process of the VETSEDU organization. Because what I wanted to do was not be just another military not-for-profit. I wanted to stand out. I wanted to have that name. So by hooking up with General Carcana and going through the motions with Command Sergeant Major Stringfield and a lot of other heavy hitters that have been part of our team, what we did was we've gone through the vetting process with various military organizations. I've had the pleasure and the honor to sit in the National Guard Bureau and be vetted by their ethics department. I've been through at the Pentagon, meeting with the Department of Defense. I've gotten the statement of support from the Department of Defense.
That's the letter I saw. That was impressive.
From the Financial Readiness Network.
Okay.
So the Department of Defense started a Financial Readiness Network. I got a statement of support saying that VETSEDU is an educational organization that goes out there and educates our veterans on how to achieve the American dream of home ownership. On top of that, we've been vetted by the United States Army Reserves. We've spoken to the United States Air Reserves. We do a lot of workshops, which I know we'll discuss a little later, with the Marines. And on top of all of that, we do work with also Military OneSource, as well as we're on the NRD, which is the National Resource Directory. We've been in talks with the VA. I've testified in front of Congress. Currently putting a bill together, which we could discuss later if you like, and really focused on growing this through the Yellow Ribbon events. And the Yellow Ribbon events being the pre and post deployments, when our soldiers and airmen, Marines come home and they have to go through basically an event to reacclimate themselves or to know what to do once they ship out. We're basically one of the many vendors that are there.
Great.
And we host workshops to our veterans and active military, and again, teaching them the right way to use their VA loan and how to protect themselves from predatory lenders.
Excellent. What, if you don't mind speaking about the bill that you had just referenced?
So, you know, I'm a go-getter, right? And I won't, you know, this VETSEDU organization and how it's formed and how it's evolved over the past year and a half or so. I'm a true believer that every veteran and active military family out there needs to really be protected and have the knowledge on how to use their VA loan. So issues like lenders not charging the funding fee, or lenders not overcharging fees to begin with, or realtors trying to coerce them into another FHA loan, or sellers not wanting to sell to veterans because they think the VA loan is this crazy loan, which in actuality it's not.
Right.
One of my missions is to get in front of Congress and to lobby to pass a bill to somewhat mandate or give out the information that is needed, provide the information that is needed to our veterans. I've had the privilege of being at Capitol Hill twice already, meeting with both sides and really discussing the issues at hand that our veterans face while trying to achieve the American dream of home ownership. And right now, we just got the draft of the bill 2 days ago.
Wow, that's
so
great.
I'm very happy, and we're going to try to reword a few of it, and then come September, I will be in DC for a lengthy period of time lobbying and trying to get this bill passed.
Wow.
Because like I said, I'm a true believer in education, and the only way we're going to stop the predatory lending that's out there and really teach our veterans and active military families on, hey, you can become a homeowner, right? This is how you do it. Protect yourself while doing it. This is the right path to go down and to get that education out there.
Fantastic. I'm very passionate about it. It's
Indeed,
wonderful. I love when people are doing something for a living or a hobby that are, you know, really all in, and you are. So it's actually quite refreshing to you know, to work with you on this, or to learn more about it, I should say. I guess the other question I had was, I had done some research on your organization, and I noticed there was an event that do you do these events sporadically, or is it more of like a fundraising event for the organization? And then also, if you could also touch upon the workshops that you do and the programs. So I kind of had bits and pieces of information. I kind of like had everything highlighted. But as I had mentioned on the way over here, the full bottle of water leaked on all my notes. So I'm kind of going from memory.
Inside your bag.
Really. That bag over there was dripping. So talk to me about the event that I definitely had come across online, and then also your programs, your workshops, and you know, everything else that you really kind of put together and package up, and you know, where you do these events and the workshops.
So there's basically there's I would say three or four types of events that we do.
Okay.
One of them is our workshops. Another one is the Yellow Ribbon events. Another one would be the event that you're speaking about in November. And the other events are, let's say, with employers that employ veterans, organizations, businesses that employ veterans, right?
Okay.
So let's talk about the November event.
Okay.
First and foremost, and then I'll get into the workshops. So as a VETSEDU organization, we are funded by our own pockets, as well as those that understand that the education is in fact needed and help us throughout that journey. With that, we wanted to have a fundraising arm and really help veterans post getting them becoming homeowners, helping them become homeowners.
Okay.
And what we did was we decided to start you can call it a sister company, a sister organization, a not-for-profit as well, called Project Stand.
Okay.
Stand for those who stood for us.
Okay.
And what Project Stand does is we raise money and help our active military and veterans with any sudden emergencies or hardships. So if one of our military members are overseas and something, God forbid, happens here with their family, we're there to be able to assist them. If for some reason, let's say they're all home and something happens with their house, and they just purchased their house, and the boiler goes wrong, the roof falls in, or there's a storm, or whatever the case may be, we are there to help them.
Wow.
You know, there are other organizations like ours that do it, and they do a great job doing so. We just want to be an additive to that.
Sure, or another option. That's great.
Exactly. So what we decided to do is on November 22nd of this year of 2019, the week before Thanksgiving, we decided to have our first Project Stand fundraiser, as well as an awards ceremony. And I am bringing in probably the 6 most, in my opinion, amazing individuals to honor them and to recognize their service, all while raising money for Project Stand. We're doing it at Towers on the Green, which is North Shore Towers in Queens, New York.
Okay.
You're more than welcome to come, please.
Oh, thank you.
And all of you as well. You know, feel free to come. But we're going to have about 200 military members.
Okay.
A lot of them are in uniform. A lot of them retired. And who we are awarding and recognizing is General Corcana, who I've spoken about, the first Puerto Rican woman to ever be general. We're also having the director of the Joint Task Force, Empire Shield Joint Task Force, which is the largest task force in our nation. They basically, these Guard reservists, watch over our bridges, tunnels, airways, airports, and roads, etc.
Sure.
So we're bringing the director of the Joint Task Force. We're also bringing the former senior enlisted advisor to the National Guard Bureau, an amazing individual out from New Mexico, going to be flying in for us to New York, and we're going to be honoring him. He worked with General Lengal and basically ran the National Guard Bureau as the Command Sergeant Major. We're also bringing in a Korean War veteran who's a very, very dear friend of mine, who's also known as the grandfather of possibilities. And he invented what you're very well known of, you know, the MLS system as a realtor. So he's the one that invented the MLS system.
Wow.
He also invented what everyone knows, the magnetic strip on the credit card. If you think about how
brilliant individual.
How that swiping happened and how did they get a magnetic strip on the back of a credit card, that's this guy. A veteran invented that, what we use every single day. I'm also going to be bringing in a Master Gunnery Sergeant, a Marine, who's very popular within the Marine District of New York.
Okay.
And who's beaten the odds more times than none. And I have one more special guest, not to be named yet, but it's a night for all of us to get together and recognize our veterans and do our fundraisers.
Beautiful.
So that's one type of event. The workshops that we do are in fact all educational. They're all free. And what we do is we do them in 3 different parts. We do them the one-on-one and online workshops, basically where we'll put on a workshop in a particular county, invite the veterans within that county to come down and learn about the VA home loan and how to become homeowners, how to protect themselves, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And it's basically a sit down of 20 to 50 plus people that want to come, that want to learn, and we do that in person by county, and we also do that online.
How long is the program?
Usually it's about an hour long.
Okay.
The workshop's about an hour long, maybe a few minutes before, depending on questions and answers.
Okay.
But we can either do it in person or we do it online, either Facebook Live or Zoom, or depending on how it is. That's one type of workshop. The other workshop that we do, which I've mentioned earlier, would be the Yellow Ribbon events, the pre and post deployments that we go and we host those workshops for those that are attending that particular event. And the last type of event that we do is for the organizations, employers, companies that hire our veterans. So what we do is we go out, for example, one of our biggest clients is AT&T. So we go out to AT&T, tri-state area, and we bring all their veteran employees in. We sit them down. We educate the AT&T veterans on how, again, to achieve the American Dream of Homeownership, protect themselves, all the great stuff that we spoke about, and move forth from there. And we do that with a lot of organizations. Locally to us, where we are headquartered in Long Island, we do a lot for the Suffolk County Police, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the New York City Police, New York City Fire. We do a lot at Rikers Island. My wife jokes with me and says, "Are you going to jail today?" I say, "No, I hope not. I hope I'm not going to jail."
You're going.
Not on Rikers.
Hopefully you leave on your own will.
Right? And if I do get to jail, I know a lot of people. Hopefully they'll bail me out. But listen. I love what I do. I'm very passionate. I've been very blessed to talk to not only the veterans, but the veterans that are also first responders. Right. And it's like I always say, it's what my grandfather would want me to do, and he inspires me every day. And I'm not going to stop until I get this bill passed.
That's wonderful. That truly is wonderful. Your grandfather must be so proud of you right now.
Yes,
Gosh, that is, you are living your dream, to be able to get up every morning and do and feel what you're passionate about and helping others. That is, that's a blessing to oneself, really. It truly is. I guess the other thing that the note I just made is that you're I'd like to, you're a young organization.
Very young.
2017, and I respect that immensely. I mean, I know what it's like to build a business, and you're building an organization, and it's sometimes I say that being an entrepreneur or starting ground up on something is like Vegas. Like it's like you probably don't sleep much.
Nope, it's nonstop.
No, it is. It's like it's
nonstop.
It's 24 hours. So yeah, there's a lot of wonderful things, going on with the VETSEDU. I went on your website. I was super impressed. Talk to me a little bit about your website, because there was I know the VA readiness program, but there was a path to ownership icon. And is that something for somebody to kind of, click on and work through before they commit to getting more involved in workshops or programs? Or
So we have our programs on our website, the VA Readiness Program, and basically what that is when a veteran or active military family is even thinking about using their VA loan. I don't care if they want to purchase tomorrow, a week from now, 3 months from now, 4 years from now. Just like you need to learn how to ride a bike, you also need to learn how to become a homeowner. And not everybody is suitable to become a homeowner. So what happens is we start them from the way beginning. Again, this is a free educational workshop. It's beneficial to them to really know what they need to be a homeowner and what they need when they're a homeowner. Right? Because there's two sides to the coin.
Yeah.
So what we do is we start them through the VA Readiness Program, and we talk to them briefly about, okay, what are your wants? What are your needs? What are your goals? Are we looking to move tomorrow, a week from now, 2 months from now? Where are you looking? So it's basically an informative conversation. Then from there we go, let's say they're interested in using their VA home loan 3 years from now. And then we'll get them on the path. So in 3 years from now, they know that they can become a homeowner. But let's assume someone wants to become a homeowner within the next year. Let's say 12 months, 1 to 12 months.
Okay.
And what we do is we go through their credit, make sure that their credit is okay.
Okay.
Make sure that their credit is VA eligible, and if not, we'll work on their credit.
That was a question I was wondering
to
if you
become
assist in
VA
that.
eligible.
Okay, because sometimes that is a process.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have a whole credit repair company within.
Great.
Again,
Wow.
no cost to get them to VA eligibility.
Excellent.
For their credit. And there's a lot of misconception regarding credit, and we could talk about some perks with the VA loan if you want, if we have time later. I won't get into the the loan right now, but from there, so we check their credit, we talk about their income, if they're on disability, Social Security, we talk about the certificate of eligibility, the DD-214, how much money you need to make, taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, you cover it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then what we do is then we will assign them a VA lender that we've been vetted, that the VA has been vetted, that charges absolutely no fees.
Okay.
And this lender will all determine on the individual situation, where they want to live, income, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And then from there, we will assign them, of course, a realtor that, again, is VA approved, that knows what they're doing, that's out there, that we feel comfortable giving the veterans to. And then we oversee the whole entire process. We talk about the closing costs. We talk about then once you become a homeowner, remember, you can file your exemptions for your taxes. In Suffolk County, and I'm just going to use an example for where I live, a lot of veterans don't realize that once you become a homeowner, you get at least 15% off your property taxes.
It's significant.
It's huge.
And I hear it's not always taken advantage of. It's a
not,
shame.
because
it's
again,
earned. It's
there's no education out
Right.
there, and that's why again
I
we
love
exist.
that you do the follow-up as
yes,
well. It's not just
100%.
now you're in a home, great. It's really the
Yeah.
follow-up and all the little
We have
things
to make
that
sure
should
they know what they're getting themselves into and be able to take advantage of all the benefits that they have with the VA home loan.
Right.
The path to home ownership that you mentioned on our website is basically the monopoly board.
Okay.
You know, how you start, basically the path to home ownership.
Okay.
It's just a cute little thing. What they can also do is those veterans and active military families that are not going through the yellow ribbon, that are not employed by employers that we do workshops with, that can't attend our workshop, we have our course online. So it's free, they get on, they take our course, and they learn about the VA home loan.
That's fantastic. That's
So,
fantastic. Or
yeah.
they could take the course, the program in person, and it's a good refresher, and just
Correct.
to follow up to make sure that it's the right type of loan for them. Well, this was very informative. I'm even more impressed than when we first met.
Thank you, yeah.
And it's a great organization that you put together.
Thank
so
you.
I think it's wonderful. It's VETSEDU. And did you want to share with the audience how to reach you if somebody had additional questions or wanted to learn more about the program?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I totally forgot also to mention we're also a government contractor.
Okay.
So we went through that whole process again to get that credibility. So
That's an
I just
extensive
wanted
process.
to make sure it
Sure.
was definitely out there. But
Sure.
those that are interested, of course, you can contact me directly. I'm the founder or any of our board members. You can check our website out at www.vetsedu.org. That's VETSEDU.org. You can give me a call at 631-305-1628. Or you can just email me at info@vetsedu.org, and that goes directly to me.
Okay.
And again, I don't care if you're interested tomorrow, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 years. Right? Again, like I've said, and I'll reiterate, just like you need to learn how to ride a bike, you have to learn how to become a homeowner.
Right, absolutely. I probably should have asked you this earlier, but the veteran loan itself, in 1 minute or less, tell me how long it takes to complete the whole process.
Sure, 1 minute or less.
Yes.
Oh my God, I
seeing
talk
cue cards.
forever. I thought we had like an hour left.
No,
I
I'm
can
seeing
go on
cue
forever
cards.
here. Oh,
You're going to see that they're going to pull you off in a minute.
we didn't even get started.
I know.
We need a whole
We'll
follow-up.
have to do part 2.
Oh, geez. There's a lot of misconceptions out there.
Okay.
In general, the VA loan is the best loan
Okay.
to use if you're military.
Okay.
No question about it.
Okay.
And if you do it correctly,
Okay.
and you are responsive to your lender, to your realtor, to our organization, depending on where you're going to live in the United States, we can get you closed anywhere from 30 to 90 days.
Fantastic.
It's that quick. You
So
know.
what we will do, we will plan another session where we will just talk about the in-depth knowledge of the VA loan, share your knowledge of that. So thank you very, very much for being here.
I appreciate it.
Thank you everyone out in TV land for watching the show, and look forward to having you back.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold.